Hello, you're watching TVP World Talks. I'm Jan Ślewiński. Romania's governing pro-European reformist bloc is facing a major rift as its biggest constituent member, the Social Democratic Party, has pulled the rug from beneath the coalition's own Prime Minister, Ilie Bolojan, fearing the current austerity measures designed to allow Romania to crawl out of its massive budget deficit are also eating away at its own voter base. But with the emboldened far-right AUR party waiting at the gates, the current coalition is under pressure to avoid total government collapse at all costs. Will they succeed? Well, joining us here today is Cristina Cileacu, senior correspondent at Digi24 TV. Hello and welcome to TVP World.
Good morning, thank you for having me.
So let's talk about this situation, because at first glance it seems counterproductive. You form a government designed to usher in necessary reforms and to keep the far right at bay, and then you suddenly bail out. I'm talking, of course, about the Social Democrats. What is the logic behind this?
Keyword, as you said, exactly, it's suddenly. Romanian citizens don't really feel the need to have this crisis right now, especially considering the situation internationally and mostly considering the very high deficit of Romania and the bad shape of its economy. Let's not forget that Romania, among the European states, has the highest deficit. And the current prime minister, with the current government of coalition, managed somehow to impose some very harsh reforms, but with good results. The people of Romania accepted those reforms. We had some protests, we have some quarreling, but overall the big image is that the fact that it is working, and somehow we saw some growth, not a big one, but it was the good way, the good path. Out of the
But if
nowhere,
they accepted, if I may, if the citizens accepted these reforms, then why is the far right, which is opposing these reforms, polling at 36%? That's a massive jump. Compared to that, the Social Democrats are polling at 18%.
Very true. Let's not forget the fact that it's a coalition of the government right now, and those parties together have more like a majority and support from the public than the Nationalist Party, which is our AUR, as we call it in English. They use this type of MAGA speech, but let's say that people in Romania don't necessarily follow this type of ideology, but rather those that follow this party are somehow discontent of the political decisions, not of the current government necessarily, but of a lot of governments before this current one. In Romania, there is a habit of having a government of coalition for around 10 months. And at some point, something happens and somebody broke the coalition, but then is back in business and everything starts over. So this continuous fact of starting over upset some people in Romania. And those people say that maybe we should not go towards the classical political parties being liberal or being a socialist democrat, but let's go towards the nationalism. So that could be an explanation of this high figure of AUR, the Nationalist Party, in the polls. But let's keep in mind the fact that they also decreasing. So as I said in the beginning, although the reform this government of coalition did so far are extremely harsh and everybody in Romania felt them, somehow the current prime minister is seen as a fair guy. He was the one communicating, saying exactly how bad is the situation, how the reforms are going to be implemented. And let's not forget that the same coalition, so both parties, both main parties, because there are 4 parties in our coalitions, but Social Democrats and Liberal, because right now they are the main, let's say, opponents in this crisis, supported those reforms. It was something, a decision taken commonly. And somehow what the socialist wants now is to change exactly the prime minister, but keep the coalition. So is the Socialist Party saying to the Liberal Party, we don't like this guy anymore, let's choose another one among yourselves. and let's continue the governance. In the same time,
Why
the
the
Liberal
urgency, though?
Party.
I mean, there was supposed
Yeah,
to be a
this
change with regards to the position of Prime
next
Minister
summer.
next summer anyway. So why are the socialists, the Social Democrats, under such pressure? Is it just because of the polls? Because they are, as we said, well, they are polling at 18%, but also you have the second coalition partner within this coalition polling at the exact same value, 18%, followed by the third party there, 16%. So you have Social Democrats at 18, you have Save Romania Union also at 18. Is it just the party rivalry? Do the Social Democrats simply want to shift responsibility? They don't want to be seen as part of the problem, as an increasing number of people are saying we are, affected by these reforms. There have been, tax hikes. There have been issues concerning employment in the public sector. Many people will be actually fired from their posts as a result of these austerity measures. So are the Social Democrats simply like pulling the plug on this project because they are afraid for their electoral results, or is it something else?
There is no something else, because as citizens of Romania, we also ask the same question: why now? Why suddenly? And the only answer we can accept is the fact that indeed the Socialist Party are decreasing in the polls, and their main public goes towards this nationalist party of AUR, some of them. And in the same time, the fact that the prime minister who took these very harsh reforms and austerity measures is trending in the polls. I mean, although most of the population is, let's say, feeling the effects, in the same time they accepted the effects, and the political personality right now in Romania trending among the preferences of Romanian is exactly the Prime Minister Ilie Bolojan. So the bad guy is also the good guy in the eyes of the public. In the same time, the fact that the socialists are losing their electorate could be the only logical and reasonable explanation of this crisis that come out of nowhere, and looks like it doesn't have a clear end, because today the president of Romania will receive in his office all the political parties to try to keep the coalition together. There are a few scenarios that are possible, but most of those scenarios assume the fact that maybe the socialists could go into the opposition and leave a minority government to control the country. And in the same time, because let's not forget, Romania, as I mentioned in the beginning, is in a not so good economical situation with our very high deficit. Romania has a lot of money to take from the European Commission. The salvation plan after the COVID, this famous plan we still have to implement in Romania. We have to take like 10 billion euro, and for that we need, and the Commission requires that as well, stability in Romania.
And there are also, like, the rating agencies looking at what Romania is doing right now. So it's a race against time, as you've mentioned. Do you believe that there will be some sort of reconciliation within the coalition? What are the other options there? Is there a risk that a vote of no confidence could be passed? I mean, there are plans for a vote of no confidence in May, and there are apparently two separate motions for that. One coming in from the socialists, the other one coming from the opposition far-right party. Could they actually vote in favor of each other's motion and so derail this government completely? Do you think that such a scenario is even plausible?
It is plausible. This is this type of scenario, but in the same time, we had yesterday a press conferences of the Liberal Party, led by the current Prime Minister, saying, not directly but with different words, the fact that maybe at some point it would be a sort of understanding among the parties to have a minority government, so the current coalition without the socialists, but with the support in parliament of the far-right party for voting exactly this type of reforms that will give Romania the money it needs from the European Commission. So what the president is trying to do today is to meet everyone and to see what of the four scenarios, because there are four of them. One is this minority government, another one is a technocrat government with everybody but the current prime minister. Another one is to have a sort of minority with the help of, as I said, the far right. And the final one is to be back in business as usual with the same prime minister. And maybe there will be some changes at the level of the current minister from the Socialist Party. So it's completely unclear what is going to be the result. Even those who created this crisis don't seem to have a solution for it. And the negotiation will be taking quite some time and is, as you said as well, a race against time, because overall the Romanian citizens, it doesn't matter which political party you choose as a citizen, but overall, everyone has this feeling that politicians are not taking care of the citizen, and they prioritize their own agenda, not the agenda of Romania, not the agenda of making economy working and cutting somehow the cost of living, which are extremely high in Romania, considering the situation overall, but especially the situation we inherited from previous governments, where the Socialist Party was also the one taking loans with very high interest rates and spending money without showing any type of responsibility in front of the population. So it's a difficult crisis. It's a crisis that Romania didn't need it. Nobody knows the answer for the moment. And let's just hope that the president will mediate today or maybe in the next day a solution that will work for Romania above all, and less for the parties, because the citizens, if this crisis is not solved, probably will go even more towards the far right parties, considering, as I said in the beginning, that they are not respected, and maybe this current coalition needs to go home.
You've mentioned the far right potentially supporting a minority government. Why would they do that? Aren't they the ones benefiting from the chaos?
They are, and in the same time they can benefit even more, because the public they share when it comes to their electorate is the same public that preferred till now the Socialist Party. So if they will support in the parliament only the reforms this government wants to do when it comes to absorbing European money, then they can show to the public of PSD, of the Socialist Party, that they do understand responsibility, so they can play this card. And in the same time, the Socialists only create crisis, so they can gain much more if they support a minority government, and not if they vote a motion against the current government. So we'll
that's
see how the negotiations will go.
That's a pragmatic approach there. And unfortunately, we have to park our conversation at this stage. Cristina Cileacu was our guest today here on TVP World. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
And I'm Jonasz Rewiński. You're watching TVP World. Please do stay with us.